Here are the top stories for today, March 9, 2020. President Rodrigo Duterte has issued a proclamation formally declaring a state of public health emergency throughout the Philippines. Malacanang will run after the billions of pesos worth of overdue payments which power companies and electric cooperatives owe the government. Qatar imposes a temporary entry ban from 14 countries, including the Philippines. And Samar will soon launch another tourism campaign featuring its local cuisine. Good day, I'm Rom Dufo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Our top story, President Rodrigo Duterte has issued a proclamation formally declaring a state of public health emergency throughout the Philippines. This after the Health Department reported the first known local transmission of the new coronavirus disease or COVID-19. The President signed Proclamation number 922 on March 8 to capacitate government agencies and LGUs to immediately act to prevent loss of life, utilize appropriate resources to implement urgent and critical measures to contain or prevent the spread of COVID-19. Under the proclamation, all government agencies and LGUs are tasked to give full assistance and cooperation and mobilize the necessary resources to undertake critical, urgent, and appropriate response and measures in a timely manner to curtail and eliminate the COVID-19 threat. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III may seek the help of the Philippine National Police and other law enforcement agencies to provide assistance in addressing the COVID-19 threat. There are 10 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country and 41 persons under investigation who are currently admitted in hospitals. Of these confirmed cases, the first known local transmission of the virus is an elderly man who frequented an Islamic prayer hall at the Green Hills Mall. As of March 8, 2020, there are a total of 105,586 cases of COVID-19 that has spread to 101 countries. The Health Department and the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases have intensified efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19. Health Secretary Francisco Duque has called on the public to continue to be vigilant and practice personal preventive measures such as proper hygiene, social distancing, and cough etiquette. He also advises the public to, if necessary, refrain from visiting public places or attending mass gatherings. The department is currently investigating all the cases and gathering patients' information from respective hospitals. Meanwhile, Malacanang on Saturday appealed to the public to remain calm and vigilant against the coronavirus disease. In a statement, Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo said the government continues to implement measures that seek to protect Filipinos against COVID-19. Panelo issued the statement after President Duterte approved the Department of Health's recommendation to declare a state of public health emergency amid the surge in COVID-19 cases in the country. Panelo assured the public that the Office of the President has been in constant communication with the DOH and key government agencies to beef up the fight against COVID-19. PCAO Secretary Martin Andanar says the public should not worry over the new cases of the 2019 coronavirus in the Philippines, as the government is on top of the situation to stop the spread of the deadly virus. Earlier Saturday, the DOH raised the COVID-19 alert system to Code Red Sub-Level 1 to prepare national and local government units and the country's health care providers for possible increase in suspected and confirmed cases of the disease. President Duterte also approved on Saturday the DOH's recommendation to declare a state of public health emergency following the new confirmed cases of COVID-19. Andanar said the latest actions made by Duterte and his administration would fast-track the needed concerted actions and logistics to address the COVID-19 outbreak. The Presidential Security Group, or PSG, will be implementing a no-touch policy on President Duterte and the First Family to prevent them from contracting the coronavirus disease or COVID-19. PSG Commander Army Colonel Jesus Durante said the no-touch policy will be among the precautionary measures in place to minimize his exposure to the disease. Durante said the PSG would thoroughly screen personalities, including PSG personnel, politicians, and dignitaries who are expected to get near the president, especially during meetings and events. The PSG will also assess whether or not to cancel large crowd gatherings with the president as a guest of honor and speaker for his safety and the safety of attendees. He said all established health protocols and preventive measures will be in effect to all PSG personnel and the whole Malacanang complex. The Department of Health said it is confident that the method being used by the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine, or RITM, to detect coronavirus disease 2019 infection is reliable. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said the test kits used by RITM are different from the rapid diagnostic test kits used by Japan and South Korea. Reacting to criticisms that the DOH was not testing enough number of people, Duque said he has spoken to the ambassadors of Japan and South Korea who are testing 15,000 patients per day. He said he asked them what is the basis of their rapid diagnostic test and if this has been cleared by the World Health Organization. Duque cited the importance of having the method checked by the WHO, as rapid diagnostic tests could produce false negatives or false positives, which might result in risks and waste of the DOH's limited resources. The country is currently using a far more tedious testing procedure, he says, which takes 24 to 48 hours for results to come out. The Education Department has suspended several school activities amid the threat of the coronavirus disease. And the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, is looking into the situation of Filipinos on board the MV Grand Princess cruise ship. More on this from William Theo.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council is beefing up its information campaign to prevent the spread of COVID-19 as the country now has confirmed cases. The information campaign is aimed at educating the public on how to protect themselves from possible infection. NDRRMC spokesperson Mark Casiantimbal says there will be regular cascading and information exchange with all regional DRRMCS and civil defense offices. Meanwhile, the Department of Education has suspended all national and regional activities which require travel and congregation of schools, division, and regions amid the continuing threat of COVID-19. DepEd suspends all divisions and district activities in Taguig City and San Juan City where there are confirmed COVID-19 cases. The regional athletic meets are also suspended until further notice. And in other news, the Department of Foreign Affairs said it is continuously monitoring the situation of Filipinos on board the MV Grand Princess cruise ship docked off the coast of California. There are 529 crew members and 9 passengers on board the ship who are Filipinos. The Philippine Consulate General in San Francisco said they have got in touch with some Filipinos in the ship to check on their health and overall condition, and they seem to be doing generally fine. The Grand Princess cruise ship is expected to proceed to the port of Oakland on Monday to begin disembarking guests who require acute medical treatment and hospitalization. These guests will be transported to medical facilities in California. For the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo.
Still to come, Malacanang will run after the billions of pesos worth of overdue payments which power companies and electric cooperatives owe the government. And underemployment rate in the country drops to new record low in 10 years. More on these when we return.
Kasalukuyan natin kinaharap ang COVID-19. Ngunit tulad ng SARS, 17 taon nang nakalilipas, atin ring itong lalabanan.
Bawat isa ay malaki ang maitutulong sa pamamagitan ng regular na paghuhugas ng kamay, tamang paraan ng pag-ubo, pagpapanatili ng 1 metrong distansya sa mga may sintomas, at pagsusuot ng face mask kung ikaw ay may sakit.
Todo laban kontra COVID-19.
Tamang paraan ng paghuhugas ng kamay. Ang wasto at regular na paghuhugas ng kamay ay mabisang paraan upang makaiwas sa mga sakit. Ito ay makatutulong sa pagpigil ng pagkalat ng virus na nagdudulot ng sakit. Una, basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Ikalawa, sabunin ang mga palad. Ikatlo, sabunin ang likod ng mga kamay. Sumunod, kuskusin ang mga pagitan ng daliri. Ikalima, kuskusin ang mga kuko. Ika-anim, kuskusin ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki. Pagkatapos, kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. At panghuli, banlawang mabuti sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer.
Todo laban kontra 2019 novel coronavirus acute respiratory disease.
The Duterte administration will run after the billions of pesos worth of overdue payments which power companies and electric cooperatives owe the government. Power companies, including South Premier Power Corporation, Northern Renewables Generation Corporation, Philinvest Development Corporation, Misamis Power Corporation, among others, owe the state-owned power sector assets and liabilities management corporation, or PSAM, amounting to some 95.42 billion pesos. Malacanang on Sunday said the government will run after them, whether they are powerful people or not, whether they are close to the president or not. Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo said there will be no sacred cows. PSAM is the agency tasked by Congress under the Electric Power Industry Reform Act of 2001 to sell the assets of the defunct National Power Corporation. If these debts remain unpaid, PSAM will incur an annual borrowing cost of about 1.7 billion a year. President Duterte has no plan of ordering the closure of all Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOs, in the country amid several controversies plaguing the online gaming industry. Malacanang on Sunday said the president backed the continued operation of POGOs because the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, or PAGCOR, gave him a good report about the economic benefits from the offshore gaming firm's transactions. Amid issues surrounding POGOs, PAGCOR has reported that the government was able to collect roughly 7 billion pesos from fees and licenses from the offshore gaming companies. Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo said the funds collected from POGOs could be used by the government to address the outbreak of 2019 coronavirus in the country and raise the monthly salary of nurses and teachers. He adds the government can use the tax collections from POGOs in any undertaking. The government has already imposed a moratorium, a new license for POGOs, following the issues besetting the offshore gaming firms. The Philippine labor market continued to record positive gains as underemployment rate fell to its lowest in a decade, on top of an increased employment rate. The January round of the Labor Force Survey, or LFS, of the Philippine Statistics Authority showed that the country's underemployment rate, the proportion of those already employed but still wanting more work, dropped further to 14.8% from 15.6% in January 2019. The National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, said this is the lowest underemployment rate recorded for all January rounds in the last 10 years. The employment rate rose to 94.7%, which brings the total number of employed Filipinos to 42.7 million in January 2020. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate also remained consistently low, maintaining its 5.3% mark from January 2018 up to the present. NEDA attributes this to the reforms that enabled workplace flexibility, such as the Expanded Maternity Leave Act and the Telecommuting Act, as well as employment facilitation programs and easier access to modern family planning services. Presidential Peace Advisor Carlito Galvez Jr. underscored the Duterte administration's commitment to upholding the rights and welfare of the nation's youth regardless of their ethnicity or religion. During the hearing held by the Special Committee on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity of the House on March 5, Galvez assures the public that the government shall protect the Filipino youth no matter what their ethnic background or religious affiliation is. At the hearing, members of the lower house were briefed on the memorandum issued by the Manila Police District last January 31, updating the list of Muslim students in high school, colleges, and universities in Metro Manila. The MPD explained that the memo's issuance was part of the agency's efforts to initiate programs for the youth as directed by the Salam Police Unit of the PNP. For the past 3 years, OPAP has been carrying out initiatives to promote social healing and reconciliation among residents of Marawi, particularly among the city's highly vulnerable sectors such as the youth. OPAP also partners with different universities so that peace education will be mainstreamed in academic institutions. It also adheres to the principles of the Human Fraternity for World Peace and Living Together document issued by Pope Francis and the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Ahmad Al-Tayyib, to collectively address the growing threat of terrorism. Some members of the New People's Army, or NPA, returned to the folds of law, narrating the hardships and uncertainties they are facing in the mountain. More on this from Laid Cabagan.
3 young members of the New People's Army surrendered while 2 others were recently arrested in Surigao del Sur. The 3 NPA combatants voluntarily surrendered after years of hardships inside the communist movement. The young NPA members were identified as alias Resco, 25 years old, alias Jill, 22 years old, and alias Joker. Resco narrated to the authorities the horrible life and struggles he experienced inside the NPA movement. He also criticized the NPA leaders in the area of their lies that deceived the youth to join the movement. In copies, the hardships and starvation in the armed struggle forced a regular member of the CPP-NPA to surrender to on Friday. Alias Art said he came back to the government because of the government's campaign of providing assistance for them. He said he surrendered because he could no longer bear the hardship, starvation, lack of security, and hopelessness in the mountains. In northern Samar, an NPA leader was killed during a joint police and military operation in Guba village in Qatar Friday morning. The slain was Salvador Nordan, alias Badok or Gahi, identified as the leader of Sub-Regional Operation Command Emporium. Nordan was facing a string of criminal charges, mostly murder and robbery cases in northern Samar. Taken from his possession were a caliber .45 pistol, ammunition, and subversive documents with high intelligence value containing the names of individuals providing support to the terrorist Communist Party of the Philippines, CPP-NPA. The remains of the NPA leader were turned over to the local government of Qatar for proper burial and assistance. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Laid Cabagan.
Up next, Qatar imposes a temporary entry ban from 14 countries, including the Philippines. And Samar will soon launch another tourism campaign featuring its local cuisine. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Kasalukuyan natin kinaharap ang COVID-19. Ngunit tulad ng SARS, 17 taon nang nakalilipas, atin ring itong lalabanan.
Bawat isa ay malaki ang maitutulong sa pamamagitan ng regular na paghuhugas ng kamay, tamang paraan ng pag-ubo, pagpapanatili ng 1 metrong distansya sa mga may sintomas, at pagsusuot ng face mask kung ikaw ay may sakit.
Todo laban kontra COVID-19.
Tamang paraan ng paghuhugas ng kamay. Ang wasto at regular na paghuhugas ng kamay ay mabisang paraan upang makaiwas sa mga sakit. Ito ay makatutulong sa pagpigil ng pagkalat ng virus na nagdudulot ng sakit. Una, basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Ikalawa, sabunin ang mga palad. Ikatlo, sabunin ng likod ng mga kamay. Sumunod, kuskusin ang mga pagitan ng daliri. Ika-5, kuskusin ang mga kuko. Ika-6, kuskusin ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki. Pagkatapos, kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. At panghuli, banlawang mabuti sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Todo laban kontra 2019 novel coronavirus acute respiratory disease.
The Qatar government on Monday issued a temporary entry ban on travelers from 14 countries, including the Philippines, as the 2019 coronavirus disease continues to spread worldwide. All Doha-bound passengers who traveled to the following countries in the last 14 days are covered. The Qatari government said the step comes in line with its effort to take all necessary preventive measures to limit the spread of the COVID-19. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, supported the DFA's call for travelers to postpone plans to visit the Holy Land amid the coronavirus threat. Father Jerome Siciliano on Saturday said the appeal is clearly meant to protect Filipino citizens and ensure their safety. Siciliano said it is not the right time for the people to visit the pilgrimage sites, as many of them have been closed because of the virus scare. The Holy Land, which includes areas in Israel and the Palestinian Authority, is a popular destination for pilgrims who want to retrace the steps of Jesus Christ. On Friday, the DFA advised all Filipinos planning to undertake pilgrimages to the Holy Land to postpone their trips until further notice. The DFA said the Palestinian Authority has decided to temporarily ban the entry of all tourists into the West Bank, including Bethlehem and Jericho. The Israeli government also decided to restrict all travels to Bethlehem from Israel. The DFA urged prospective travelers to coordinate with their tour operators to avoid any inconvenience. The Samar provincial government will soon launch another tourism campaign featuring local cuisine in the province as part of its Spark Samar branding. Joyce Kudis with more.
Dubbed as the secret kitchen of Samar, the provincial government picked local dishes that will take center stage and complement the promotion of tourist destinations and various products. Bola Catalana is Catalogan's version of embutido, a Spanish generic term for sausage which contains ground meat seasoned with aromatic herbs and spices and wrapped in the skin of the pig's intestines. The tamales is an heirloom recipe consists of rice dough filled with pork and flavored with a sauce called PNA, which is made of ground glutinous rice with chilies and pasoras leaves to produce that piquant flavor. Another secret recipe in Samar is the humba of Villarreal town. It stands out since pork belly is cut in big chunks flavored with soy sauce and native vinegar, a good portion of bay leaf, onion, garlic, corn pepper, sugar, and fresh peanut. Another parade is Calbayog's tinapa. It is made from freshly cut short-bodied mackerel and long-jawed mackerel. Pap rice is made from steamed rice dried under the sun and cooked in a caramelized sugar. Linupak is made from freshly harvested rice with young coconut meat and sugar, then pounded in a wooden mortar. Quesillo of Gandara is the oldest home-based industry made up of Carabao's milk with a little mixture of vinegar. The milk is boiled and transformed into white cheese after it is mixed with vinegar. These are just some of the food which will be showcased during the Secret Kitchen of Samar launching on March 12 to 15 in Shangri-La Mall in Mandaluyong City. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Kudis.
Take another look at today's biggest stories. President Rodrigo Duterte has issued a proclamation formally declaring a state of public health emergency throughout the Philippines. Malacanang will run after the billions of pesos worth of overdue payments which power companies and electric cooperatives owe the government. Qatar imposes a temporary entry ban from 14 countries, including the Philippines. And Samar will soon launch another tourism campaign featuring its local cuisine. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check more news content, check our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more news about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags on all our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I am Rom Dulfo. Good day.